So today's class, we're going to ask the question, what type of leader are you? That's what we're going to touch on. And sisters can glean from this as well. What type of leader are you? Okay. Write this down. Leadership is setting an example and getting people to do when they are not obligated to do for you. Y'all understand what I just said? Leadership is getting people to do for you when they are not obligated to do anything for you. Let me explain that in a little layman's terms. Rank means nothing without the support of the people. I'll give an example. You could say you are a captain of 10,000, but what good is it if you're in the home by yourself? Does this rank mean anything? Brothers, does it rank mean anything? It seems like y'all confused. I'm a captain of this. And you sitting at home by yourself or with your dog or your cat running around. Your rank means nothing. Rank also means nothing if you do not have the support of the people. Always remember that the people are the ones, although God will give you the wisdom and understanding, it is the people's support that has you in the position that you're in. You men understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Give me Sirach 10. Give me Sirach 10. Right. Whatever type of leader you are will be determined by the type of leaders you produce. And what I often like to do is, if you are a leader of a congregation, a senior man, when you examine the men directly, like when I meet a lot of you brothers, I'll say, I want to meet your number 2 man. I want to meet your number 3. I want to meet your number 4. If those men under you are idiots and slothful, that tells me you are a terrible leader. If I ask your number 2, number 3, or number 4 a question and they say, I don't know, let me go ask the senior guy, that means the senior guy is a terrible leader. That's called job security. When you have a man over a congregation and his men under him are idiots, they don't know nothing that's going on. They always got to rely on him. What's the answer to this? What's going on here? That means that's job security. You see that a lot. Brothers that have certain skills. You ever see it in the workplace? Men or women who have talents or skills and refuse to teach the people under them. That's that Negro spirit. This jobs, I got to make sure I always got a job here. So I'm going to make sure everybody around me always need me. You are a terrible leader. Right. Can you say, don't mumble in my ear?
That kind of spirit is out of fear because the person under you might surpass you.
Right.
So you want to cripple them, basically. You know, that's wicked as hell. That's crippling them.
We've seen that with the crew that ran up out of here. Remember, how many times we would ask certain people, hey, train brother so-and-so and sister so-and-so so they could learn this. And it'd be months go by. Months! And these people still didn't learn what we need them to learn. Why? Because they always wanted to be depended on.
Yeah, that happened in where Captain going. Yeah, that happened to one of the camp bishop. You remember that brother, the one who left, so-called Judah. He was doing the same thing. He was not putting no brothers up because he didn't want to be challenged by any brothers. You understand that? If we camp, we go, we see these things happening while brothers doing that. Now, your brothers that hold camp, that leader over camp, be very mindful. Like Bishop said, you have to be loved by the people. Then you have to be loved by your officer. If your officer's complaining about you, or the people complaining about you, you're poor leaders as well.
Let me give an example. I'm sorry, Bishop. Let me give you an example of what we were just mentioning just a minute ago. You have a top man, and then his number 2, 3, 4 are idiots. And people will begin to question what the hell's going on down there.
Right.
Then when some administrative moves are made. There you go. Yeah, you like that word, right?
We just watched John Wick 3.
Right, man, that was bad. That was some bad stuff. When changes are made, then all of a sudden you see budding of all kinds of great things coming up simply because they got rid of the errant one that was trying to cripple the men under them. Right. So when the right leader came in, then things started to happen. Y'all all right?
Get me Sirach chapter 10. And let's start verse 1 and 2.
So, Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 1.
A wise judge will instruct his people.
That's your focus. The things that you're learning is not for you alone. You are to instruct the people in all aspects. Christ taught the disciples everything. So that way, when he left the scene, the remaining disciples was able to carry on the mission. That's how you got to see it. If I'm not, how many times I'll tell you deacons, if I'm not around, can y'all carry this on? Our elders used to tell us that. If we're not around, which of you can carry on this mission? They always ask us that. You remember that?
The testament is that's exactly what we're doing. A lot of our elders are passed away and gone into other things, but you see this truth is still rolling bigger than when they had it. That's a testament right there.
Exactly. Read that again.
A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
You see that? And the government of a prudent man is well ordered. IUIC must be well ordered. Everybody must know what the other person knows. We must know so that this truth will never fall, never stumble. Okay? That's why we send captains out to check and administer things in the other schools to make sure things are up to par. Okay? We cannot have a bunch of dumb Negroes running around, wrecking havoc. Some of you like Negroes. This is a Negro right here. He's doing stupid things. Read on.
As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers.
Right. So when we see officers underneath the judge of a particular congregation who are unlearned, unproductive, slothful, we say, well, that's a testament to the main guy. This guy should not be head over this school. Look at the men he's producing. They don't know nothing when you ask them a question. They got to run to this dude for everything. This is a waste of time here. Read it again.
As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
Right. Hey, when I started taking y'all out to camp, how many times I used to get on them, not just scriptures. I say, hey, let's iron our clothes. Let's not go out there looking shabby. I don't want the flyers crooked to the side. I said, everything you got to be right. You got to present. You are an ambassador of the Most High God. Oh, they hated my guts, but we had to get the job done. We had to be professional, whatever we're doing. That's the mindset that has to go forth throughout this truth. Okay.
Yeah, Bishop, even though you know that that's the case, like, because when people will see us in the internet, when they got time to come and meet us, they say, yo, your guys on when we looking at towards your guys, y'all look like you're up there already. But that don't mean that the little you have, you cannot prep yourself to look good. You understand? We didn't have that much. But the little we did have, we prep ourselves to look good, like you said, the flyer. Then the way we look, the garment we was putting on. The garment was not that expensive, but we do make the garment look good, though. You understand?
Yeah, you do say so yourself. All praises. A leader in this truth has a responsibility to produce more leaders. For example, give me Malachi chapter 4 about Elijah. Let me show you this. This was the beginning, the budding of the truth. Okay. Many people often ask, well, who was Elijah during this time? Well, I believe it was Albert Bivens. That's what we were taught. But I can't prove it to you. There's no way I can prove it. That's just what my personal opinion, my thought is. Read that.
Malachi chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Go ahead.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers.
So Elijah had a job. He had to return the truth to the children of Israel that they are the children of Israel. Okay, that their fathers are Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. That's what he did. And in so doing, the Bible's a big book. I just always say the Bible is a big book. It's greater and bigger than Romans 9:13 or Job 9:24. You know, because those are the scriptures we would always go to first when we hit camp. Give me Romans 9:13. Give me Job 9:24. Bam, bam, all day long. And they always say, hey, the truth is more than that. Look, read through it. So there's a lot of things about order, structure, organization that's in this book that we got to glean from it. All right. Give me Sirach 24. So when Elijah came, he produced other leaders. Because why? When he came and left, he eventually died. So what happened? Men had to take over and carry this truth on. Okay, now we're at the point here at IUIC. We are also some of the men who have carried on, and we are teaching to bring the truth to the next level. And when we pass, we hopefully You younger men will take it even further than what we've gotten to. Y'all understand that? That is the hope. Because if we're still here before Christ, of course we still before Christ come back. If this kingdom has not gone down by the time we're gone, you men have to carry this truth on. What did I say, go?
Says Sirach 24.
Sirach 24 and verse 34.
Sirach 24, verse 34. Behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom.
So you're in this truth not just for yourself. He said, not for myself only. Because, yeah, it is for you. But you have to understand it's greater than just you. It's for the people, the men and women that's coming after you. That's why Paul always honored those that came before him. He says, salute this brother, salute this sister, because they were called in the truth before him. Can you find me that scripture in Romans 16? It's somewhere in there where it says, salute this sister, salute this brother, for they were called before me. Find me that.
This is Romans 16, verse 7. Thank you. Romans 16 and verse 7. Salute Andronicus and Junia, my kinsmen and my fellow prisoners, who are of note among the apostles, who also were in Christ before me.
You see that? As great as Paul was, he honored them. Because why? They were called in this truth before him. So Paul wasn't an arrogant type of a brother. Well, I know more scriptures than they do. He said, no. God called them before me. So that means they get honor before me. A Negro don't understand that today. A Negro think because he can quote or paraphrase 26 verses, he's the greatest. He's, what's that sliced bread expression? Don't I ain't asking you, Laba. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's a Negro. That is a nooker for you right there. Give me Exodus 33. Leaders are born and developed. I'm going to say it again. Leaders are born and developed. Nobody comes up with a baby and I'm a leader. No, that child must be groomed and developed to become a leader. He must listen to attention, listen to what the leadership is telling him, instructing him, guiding him in. Leaders are born and developed, and you must begin by being a servant, a student, a follower. Everybody understand that? Yes, sir. No, black people don't understand that. You got to begin by becoming a student, a follower, a servant. Give me that Exodus 33:11. I'm going to give you some scriptural examples.
Exodus chapter 33, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp. But his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle.
You see that? Joshua was a young man. He didn't leave Moses' side. The scripture says he was a young man. He was always around Moses. And guess what? When Moses' time to pass away, Moses said, I choose Joshua. Why? Because Joshua was a faithful brother. Faithful. And we've seen some most disloyal, unfaithful people you could ever meet in your life amongst blacks and Hispanics. Shock. Crackers too. Give me 2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 1 and 2. 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 1 and 2.
2 Kings chapter 2, verse 1. And it came to pass, when the Lord would take up Elijah into heaven by a whirlwind, that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal. And Elijah said unto Elisha, tarry here, I pray thee, for the Lord hath sent me to Bethel. And Elisha said unto him, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So they went down to Bethel.
You see that? Elisha said, I'm not going to leave your side. Elijah says, wait here. Elisha was like, no, I'm not leaving your side. I'm staying with you. So this was what? A loyal brother, a faithful man in the Lord in this truth. And how go ahead, Lava. I know you want to say something.
Brother, 100%, brother. You 100%.
That's all you got, Lava? That's all you got for me?
Bishop.
Yeah.
What's so interesting is I was just talking to Dick. Actually, I was talking to Kabia about that earlier today. It's amazing to me how brothers say, the brother go, oh, I'm only faithful, I'm only loyal to Christ, I'm only loyal to Messiah. But when is the last time you met Christ, nigga?
Right.
You never met Christ? What the hell are you talking about?
When did the last time you met Most High? So you faithful to Christ, you loyal to Christ, but you can even be faithful to the brother next to you. You lying to yourself.
Right.
You faithful loyal to a man you never met, but you got your one brother next to you, hate his guts.
Right.
But you faithful to Christ. Stop lying to yourself.
There you go.
And the reason why the brothers that would sit up under the leaders was not for covetous or trying to get over reasons. They were there because they were honest about the mission. They weren't trying to learn for the sake of having it and then turn the congregation into lasciviousness. They weren't there for that. So that's the kind of men that we need in this truth.
Right.
That's what we need.
When you hear that nonsense, I'm only faithful to Christ, that's the same as Christians saying only God can judge me. That's the same as the Christian vibe. Only God can judge me is that Tupac scripture. That's all that is. It's not in the Bible.
Exactly. Get Mark 10:44. Mark chapter 10, verse 44. This is what Christ said.
Mark 10 and verse 44. And whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be servant of all.
See, that shall be a servant of all. That is the beginning of leadership, becoming a servant. So every man in here, you come in this truth to become a leader, you must be a servant. Your job is to serve the people, minister to the people. Give me Luke 17:10.
Bishop, if you don't mind. Yeah, you know, like a lot of time what brothers focus on, Bishop, is their focus how many precepts they will know. How many precepts they will learn. I mean, how many precepts, instead of seeing themselves as leaders, they study the Bible just to know enough precept. You understand? So that people can know that, I mean, they're leaders by their precept. No, brother, you have to be that leader. But a lot of times what we travel and find is like brothers who know 100 precepts. Like we have a brother here was like that, Bishop.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You understand? Know all these precepts, all these stick with to take him to camp. Deuteronomy 28. What happened to all these precepts? You know what I mean? If I was you, I know all these precepts. I will make sure that every people in the street that I teach move by the precept that I know. But that was never like that was the brother. That was only Deuteronomy 28. Then Boyd teaching it as well, with no spirit on him.
Get that Luke 17:10. Watch this.
Luke 17 verse 10. So likewise ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty
So you see the spirit of humility? Say, when we've done all that we've done, say we are unprofitable servants. It does not say, I am your spiritual father. It says, say, I'm an unprofitable servant. That's what it says. That's what the Lord says. Now, though Paul was a spiritual father to many of them, many of the older men here are spiritual fathers, but we don't make you call us that. We are unprofitable servants. We've done what is commanded us. So when we see you young men telling people call you daddy, what the hell is going on here? I have some of the stupidest nigger stories you could ever imagine. I said, what nigger is telling people to call him spiritual father? That is not in the scriptures to do that. Especially a young dude with no experience. You know what I'm talking about. I couldn't believe I'm shocked. I'm like, what the hell? Am I in the Twilight Zone here? Lava, am I in the Twilight Zone?
No, hey, listen, what make it difficult, man? Just when that thing fall up in our ears, it's just like, brother, you young. You know what I mean? Brother, you too young for that. But then you have to let the people, if we would have heard that the people call you that, but for you to tell the people to call you that, they're showing you your mind is not there. Your mind is not there. You wanna get some type of how you call it, some type of grade that, recognition that you don't have yet as being that young.
We're gonna cover that because in this truth, experience and longevity goes a long way. Not the memorization of precepts. How many times from the old school we met some of the greatest precept recollecting brothers, and they were the most vile, most wicked. That's what we have discovered. Experience showed us that. So ain't that the precept, brother? You want to know anything, he know where it is.
Been on TV and all that.
And then be the most vile and wicked brother you will ever meet in your life. That's what we see. Why? So he was never, brothers like that are not studying for salvation, not studying to help the people, but study to set themselves up as something they are not Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
If
sir.
you're confused, let me know. I know some of you are confused. Give me Sirach 3:18. We're gonna say y'all.
Yeah,
something.
that was the point that I was making earlier. I said that when you have a young man that's getting up underneath the elders, his spirit has to be about helping the people. The only reason why you would want to even get in the seat of leadership is so that you could carry the mission further in righteousness, not for some self gratification type of thing. It should never be for that. It should be about the furtherance of this gospel, according to the scriptures.
Read that. Sirach 3:18.
Sirach 3:18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord.
The Apostle Paul, when you examine him, he was one of the most learned of the apostles. Well learned. Saw many visions, many wonders. But he humbled himself beneath Peter and them who were perceived to be unlearned and ignorant men. And Paul never called that to their face and said, hey, I know more than you got. Paul wasn't like that. Not at all. That's an example. That is an example for each and every one of us. Now, you'll read where Paul did glorify himself. But he did that to put Negroes in check. Because, for example, you had the Church of Corinth. Remember, they were trying to exalt themselves over Paul. Paul said, you want to brag? You want to boast about something? I'm going to brag. I'm going to boast just for a moment. Because you can't hold a candle to me, Paul was saying. And that was just to shut them down. Why? Because they were getting above themselves, thinking they were all this, been in the truth 3 minutes. And that's the same spirit we got going on today. Give me James 3. And understand this, when you become a leader, you receive the greater condemnation. A leader will receive the greater condemnation. Don't think the 144,000 is going to be judged like the great multitude. Oh, no. Because the 144 has a greater understanding. Those that's going to fit in them seats will be judged on a different level. Give me that in James 3:1. So everybody want to be a leader. Okay. And we raising you men up to be leaders. Understand, you're going to get the greater condemnation. Read that.
James chapter 3, verse 1. My brethren, be not many masters.
Don't rush to be a master in this truth. Don't rush to be a leader. Why?
Knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation.
You see what James said? We shall receive the greater condemnation. Why? Because those of us in the seats of authority are held at a higher standard. Why? Because we know more. Give me that in Luke 12:45. Luke 12:45. And we're going to read down.
Luke 12, verse 45. But and if that servant say in his heart.
Now the servant is maybe you, maybe me. The servant, put yourself in that servant's seat and let's examine it.
But if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming.
Christ is not coming back right. When you got to watch these brothers that say, I don't follow no man, I follow Christ. What's the expression you said? What did they say, Malachi? My loyalty is to Christ, not man.
Not to man.
Those are the same brothers that say, hey, Christ ain't come back yet. That's what it's saying right here. My Lord delayeth his coming. Read.
And shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens.
What does that mean, beat them? Abuse them. Take advantage of them. There's the spirit of covetousness, of vainglory coming in. That's what it means when it says, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens. Go ahead.
And to eat and drink and to be drunken.
And to eat and drink and be drunken. Read.
The Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him.
Go ahead.
And at an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him in asunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers.
Christ said that dude, that so-called servant, is an unbeliever because he sees that the Lord has not come yet. He has begun to abuse the people, take advantage of the people. Christ said, I'm going to appoint him with the unbelievers. Read. So that goes back to when people say, my loyalty is to Christ, not man. But you've never met Christ. You've never seen him face to face. How's your loyalty to him? Okay, you've never met him. Okay, read.
And that servant.
Yeah, hold on. That's the same imagination inside the Christian churches,
yes.
Bishop. I love the Lord. I love the Lord. Then you find out that person who claim he loved the Lord is the most wicked person you can meet. It's the same thing, the same mindset, the same delusion spirit. You know what I mean? They're brought up. That came from the Christian church. They're bringing it up in here.
Exactly. Go ahead.
And that servant which knew his Lord's will, and prepared not himself.
See that? Prepared not, did not do the commandments, did not abide in the leadership position of taking care of the flock. Go ahead.
Neither did according to his will.
That's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Shall be beaten with many stripes.
You're going to get a worse condemnation. That's what he's saying right there. It's going to be worse for you. Go ahead.
But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes.
Now, this is the group of brothers who was not in that leadership position. He was never the one sitting over the congregation teaching this and that. He was always in the flock, in the body. It says, and he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes, go ahead,
shall be beaten with few stripes.
you're still going to get it, but you're going to be beat with few stripes. Go ahead.
For unto whomsoever much is given,
This is you men in the leadership position. Go ahead.
of him shall be much required.
Of him shall be much required. Go ahead.
And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more.
So when you're raised up in rank, and this lets you know rank position is biblical. Okay? That's what Christ is saying. And to whom men have committed much. What is that? Authority has been committed to you. Rank has been committed to you. The people accept you as an officer of 50, officer of 80, captain of 100, captain of 200, deacon, bishop, whatever. People have committed to you trust. And now you start to abuse the people, rob the people, spread a spirit of vainglory. Okay? How many of y'all saw the movie Planet of the Apes? Remember the first one? Remember when, how many saw it? Raise your hand, let me see. Okay. Remember when they put Cornelius, the monkey, in the cage? And he had to deal with this one particular monkey named Cookie. Cookie had the monkeys doing his nails, grooming his hair. He was the fat cat in the zoo. He was the boss in the zoo. He didn't care about the monkeys. He just wanted them to take care of me, do my nails, comb my hair. The hell is this? That's when we visit some of the schools, we've seen that spirit going on there. I get the reports. I'm like, what's going on there? What? Lava, are you kidding me, man? Are you insane? What's going on there? Yes, they're calling him spiritual father. Are you kidding me? What the hell is this? They're grooming him. They're taking care. They're doing his beard. I'm exaggerating this part. They're doing his nails, just like Cookie in the movie. I'm like, oh, what the hell? I'm like, Lord, what is happening here? And Yahweh got an expression. He said, hey, this thing don't run on autopilot. He said, brothers got to go out there and visit. The nigga spirit will rise up and you got all manner of chaos going on. So you're right about that. So, we read down to 48, Leon?
Yes, sir.
So I want to discuss several types of leaders. Hey, I'm throwing shoes out there. If you get hit in the head with the shoe, you get hit in the head with the shoe. Just take it.
Hey, be glad the shoes are coming at you.
Exactly.
Hey, Bishop, it's good you brought that up because remember, one of the leaders we had to remove, he was making the woman stand up when he walks in the room. He was taking brother's car. He was making people driving around. He was doing a whole bunch of stuff. Now, he's making people stand in the corner. Now he's on YouTube attacking us. We didn't see that with our own eyes. The body reported that to us, and now he has a vendetta against us. So the bishop is now making this stuff up. This is real talk.
Exactly. Hey, D, when I went out there, I visited the school, and I'm not thinking nothing. I'm there to have a good time. Was you there, Abiel? Okay. Oh, yeah, he hates your guts. So anyway, I go to the school. I salute the congregation. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Everybody sit down and talk with the brothers because class ain't start yet. And I just happened to look over to the sisters. They were all still standing. So I didn't think nothing at first. I'm talking, hey, blah, blah, blah. I look back, and I still standing. So I'm like, why are y'all still standing? Why are y'all still standing? So one sister goes, we're under orders. We're not allowed to sit down until the last male walks in the school. I said, what? I said, all y'all women sit the hell down. Where'd you get that from? They point to the nigga next to me. I said, bro, are you kidding me? Where did you get this from? Where'd you get this from?
It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't your side.
I'm just kidding.
And these women had high heel shoes on and all. I knew the feet was hurting. They trying to be in order. What the hell is going on here? Oh Lord, thank God that dude is gone. Yeah, Darth Vader. So so these classes are meant to save you young men from walking in that same path we see you going down. So I'm going to discuss several types of leaders in hopes that you can examine yourselves and identify the type of leader you are currently or will become. The scriptures will bear record. Okay. Yes.
Bishop, you mentioned about throwing shoes out there.
Mhm.
And you said after it, take the shoes. Don't be upset, be mad at the shoes. The shoes will save your life. And we just read that when you don't deal right with the congregation, the Most High is going to kill you and throw you in the pot with the unbelievers. So I'd rather have a shoe or two if I'm going off.
Hey, at the old school, we got many shoes thrown at us. Pop,
Big
pop.
time.
Oh, shoot.
Big boots with dirt on them,
Yeah.
with mud on them.
We took it. We ate that thing. And we still here.
Bishop, if they would, I don't know, some of these spirits, brother, if they would have been back in those days, man.
Y'all stop. A
Help
lot
me
of
out.
these brothers here would be been gone already.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I was about to say. And it was all done with no microphone
Yeah.
because it was strong and powerful.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, man. Then that time I came in way before y'all. Then we was not acting like that. I came in the end, bro.
I think I have to dramatize when I say without a microphone. Because when you have a microphone, you don't have to exalt and you don't have to bring the veins out in your forehead.
Right.
You don't have to do that. But when you have to scream and out, there's anger, there's bad breath, everything coming at you hard. Can you dig it? Okay, because there's no microphone.
Yeah.
I'm saying it that way because it's hot. It's like hot vomit, brother. You getting it?
Hot vomit.
Hot vomit, bro. You getting it hard. A lot of people be like, I can't take it. I ain't coming back.
Hey,
Them niggas
we ain't
crazy.
going to use that as a T-shirt. Hot vomit. No, that's not. I don't think nobody going to buy that one, y'all.
Y'all stop.
But I
Please.
understand.
Yeah, man. Keep that in North Carolina. Keep
Yeah.
I gotta lean back. I'm gonna lean back. I can't come back to New York and just throw stuff at you like that. You know.
Give me
Been gone too
2
long,
Kings
right?
chapter 11. Hot vomit. Wow. So the first type of leader I want to discuss is the Jehoash leadership. Jehoash, which is a positional leader, someone that's put in a position of authority. Give me 2 Kings 11, verse 21. Jehoash, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Jehoash was put up in a position of authority. Watch this. 2 Kings 11, verse 21.
2 Kings 11, verse 21. 7 years old was Jehoash when he began to reign.
Jump over to 2 Kings 12, verse 1 and 2.
2 Kings 12 and 1. In the 7th year of Jehoash began to reign, and 40 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Zebiah of Beersheba. And Jehoash did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. All his days wherein Jehoiada the priest instructed him.
You see that? All the days wherein Jehoiada the priest instructed him. So from the age of 7, he was under counselors, tutors, and he obeyed and followed their. Let me show that in Galatians. Paul explained the same thing. So this king, he didn't pop up and say, I'm a born leader. Even a leader must be developed. Understand that you need to be developed. You need men around you. Do this. Don't do that. Follow our instructions. Give me that. Galatians.
Yes,
is it
sir.
2 and 1, 3 and 1. I forgot what verse.
Galatians
4 and 1.
chapter 4 and
Yes.
verse 1.
Galatians 4, verse 1. That's it.
Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant.
See that? The heir. Now we all heirs to the coming kingdom under Christ. But it says, deferreth nothing from a servant. Go ahead.
Though he be Lord of all.
Although we are lords of all, not yet. Okay? Not yet. We're still servants right now. Go ahead.
But is under tutors
But is under tutors
and governors
and governors.
until the time appointed of the Father.
Right. And the time has not been appointed of the Father as yet. So although this is an allegory, because Paul's really going into something deep there, that's for another class. I think I brought it out in another lesson dealing with Galatians 4. But on face value, what we just read in Kings is what Paul is addressing here. So all of us in here, we're all under tutors, all under governors, to guide us, teach us, okay, to prepare us for things to come. Give me Job 32. So Jehoash was a positional leader. He was put in a seat, although he was not able to fulfill the seat. At the end, he's the age of 7 years old. What can he do? He's a 7-year-old. They have temper tantrums. They'll kill everybody if they don't have tutors. Yeah. Guess what? You brothers that's been in the truth 7 years, you're a 7-year-old. Laba always touch on that. You whatever amount of years you consider that your age in this truth. If you've been in this truth 8 years, you are 8-year-old. You throw temper tantrums. You'll kill everybody. You need tutors. You need governors. Okay? So, a positional leader.
Yeah, Bishop, they proved that brother who left us before they turned to be that man. You know what I'm saying? What they become of them? Nothing. You see that they was not growing yet. You understand? But they leave thinking that they're a grown-up man. Now they're in the street speaking evil of brothers, speaking evil of their congregation. They're themselves who claim they're leader that cannot grow any congregation. Their brother, one of the bishop left, cannot grow. No, two, what was it? Two of them left. Two congregation come together. Their left is simple behind.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, then you got the bulldog. I'm saying with that football pad. This one right here come from Connecticut. This mine ain't right. You understand? It's still talking evil. You understand? Then a lot of y'all thinking that we don't know what we're talking about. Brother, trust me, what the scripture says is true. If you're a young man to this, consider yourself as a young man, as a 5-year-old, 6-year-old. Like today, perfect example, Bishop. I said, have you ever heard any of the brothers that put a little recording to them? They said, listen, I've been with IUIC for 5 years. I'm going to confess that I was the most evil people. You're not going to see that. They're going to come in on YouTube and say, IUIC is evil. But brother, how long you been with IUIC? 6 years. That means you've been evil too. They're never going to confess that because they know that's not true. You understand? Be mindful of these simple, young, ashy black devils, man.
Why they gotta be ashy, lover?
Because they're black. They're black, dark.
Ashy. Who would throw ashy with black? The hell is this? My mother used to say that too. I'm scarred for life, but it is what it is. So a positional leader, like Jehoash was a positional leader. A lot of you brothers that's over schools of IUIC, a lot of you are only leaders there because there was nobody else at the time. Let me say it again in case I stuttered. A lot of you over IUIC schools, you're only the leader there because you were either the first one there and there was nobody else available to take the seat. That's a positional leader, okay? Now let me show you something. The way a positional leader can go one of two ways. He can go the route of Jehoash, who listened to counsel,
Yep.
or he can go the opposite direction. But time, the nigger way, time will tell. Let me show you that. Give me Job 32 and 21. Job 32.
Job chapter 32,
What
verse
you gonna say,
21.
y'all?
I said that's a heavy point that the bishop just said, and you really have to think about, meditate on what he just said, because the first person in the city would be what we used to call him the point man.
Right.
And as the people began to come under him, that leader should think to himself and say, you know what? Although I was called into this thing first, I don't yet know how to be a leader.
Yeah.
But being that there's leadership that's already set up, why don't I sit at the feet of these men and learn properly how to deal with these brothers and sisters coming in? That would be wise.
Hold on.
But if the Negro gonna take the damn wrong spirit and go the nigger way, he need to be kicked in the. Let me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Deacon. Hold on. The thing that you say, it is true. Because a lot of these brothers who claim they're officers, soldier, they have not made it to the headquarters yet. They've been sitting in a position. After it's in a book, you have to visit New York. It's in a book, brother. It's in a book. A lot of y'all don't make it here because y'all thinking y'all growing. That's your problem. That's your problem. Y'all didn't think as a young king, the bishop just went out and king. Y'all thinking you're already growing. That's why you're always caught up in stupidity, man. You're supposed to come here when captains here, lead you here, officer, lead you what to do in your king. But you see, brother, been officer 3-4 years, never show up in New York. I mean, captain never show up in New York. Hey, listen, the day is over for you, man. Then we coming for your wink. Because you're not made to be a leader. We coming.
Give me Job 32, 21.
Job 32, verse 21. Let me not, I pray you, accept any man's person. Neither let me give flattering titles unto man.
Neither let me give flattering titles unto men. Let me tell you something about it. Rank is very important, but it can be used as a flattering title, meaning someone has a position, a title, and he is not truly worthy of that title that he has. And it can lead to respect of persons. Okay, read on.
For I know not to give flattering titles.
Let me tell you about flattering titles. How you know if you deal with flattering titles? When a brother gets demoted for doing something sinful or whatever, and he gets mad and leaves, that lets you know he was only here for a flattering title. That's all he wanted. There are many brothers, I won't say many, some brothers who have lost their rank, and you know what? They stayed in this truth. They fought. They corrected their error. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Fought, corrected their errors, maintained, and excelled mightily. Others, I'm mad. You took my rank. I'm leaving. I'm gonna take the school
That
too.
is it. How you gonna take this? You wait a minute. You take the school, and the niggas that follow you, they all going to hell.
Yeah,
That don't make any sense. You gonna act up because rank was taken. That means exactly what you just said, Bishop.
Yep.
They were
Flattering
only here for flattering titles.
Exactly.
Wow.
Like the one brother said, he hated Captain Shem. So he said, make me a captain so I don't gotta listen to Shem. I'm looking at this dude got the devil on. I'm looking at him. I said, bro, let me, I tried to I took the nice way. I wanted to blast, but I said, let me take a different route. I said, let me tell you something. I said, title is a title. Who you are speaks volumes.
Yeah.
The title really doesn't mean anything in this world. I said, let me give you an example. I said, you right now, this is the little cracker boy that left. You right now are a grand poobah of 10 millions. Okay, you a grand poobah. I said, how do you feel? Yeah,
Felt the same.
yeah, I feel the same.
I feel the
said,
same. That's the
I
point.
said, bruh, that's the point. It's just a title that somebody gives. Your actions speak volumes. Your actions tell the people who you are. If you're a captain, you're going to roll like a captain. Yep. And the people will say, this is a leader right here. Yep. The way he conducts himself, the way he acts. But you little weasel brothers are always trying to be sneaky, doing stupid stuff. You're not a leader.
Yellow make me mad. What they say? What you be saying? Yellow make me what?
Sad.
Yellow makes me sad. And to prove that what you're saying is true, Bishop, you have brothers that lost their rank, stood here strong, humbled themselves, and came back better than they was when they lost their rank. And you know their name.
That's right.
You know their name now. Okay? And nobody remembers that they were even suspended. We got to dig in our head. When did that happen? I don't even remember that happened. But you got the wicked nigger that lost his rank for a day and went straight to YouTube and started cussing everybody out, and now he's a disgrace to the nation.
Deacon, you know what was funny? Because there was two of these type of brothers that did this, and I remember telling them exactly that. I said, if you go through your situation and come back, I said the people will respect you.
Exactly. You set an example.
I told them that. It was two of them that I told that, and neither one of them niggas listened.
And where are they now? They're like the, you know, when they do the shows on YouTube. Where are they now? You remember that one song they sang? You're like, where are they now?
So the brother that depends on a title more than wisdom to lead, he's an insecure brother. He's insecure, and he likes to borrow. I'm gonna give you a sign. He tends to borrow authority, and this is what I'm giving an example of an insecure brother. Let's say Asaph speaks to her. He calls. He said, "Hey, do this, do that." The brother will go, "Hey, y'all have to do this because Deacon Asaph said so." He's borrowing authority. Although he has the title and position, in his spirit, in his soul, he's not up to that point yet. So here, Deacon, you have to do because Deacon Yawasop said it, or Bishop said it, Deacon Aitan said it. So you're still insecure. You have to borrow authority from different men because you're not rolling in that right spirit as yet.
Right. They call it dropping names.
Right.
You know.
Or like when they say, an order goes and you says, well, this came from leadership. Why you got to announce that? You know how many times I hear that? Brothers over at camp, and the only way they can get people to respond, they say, well, this came from leadership. Then when I check into it, I'm like, who did you talk to? Nobody. You know why he says that? Because the people there don't respect him.
Right.
They don't respect him. So they knows as soon as they hear leadership, they shouldn't be afraid of us more than they have respect for you.
Exactly. There you go.
You know what's heavy about that? Because, you know, I'm just giving some thought to that thing. Normally you'll have people of a rank between bishop, deacons, and the younger men. And whenever you have to drop names, and if you think there's going to be a question about what you're saying to them, it is because you're saying something that is out of the ordinary. You understand what I'm saying? if you got to drop names, it's because they be like, wait a minute, that don't even sound right. But so-and-so said it. Right. You understand? And that's the reaction that they're looking to get. Because they know that's not you're not supposed to be talking on that level. You're not supposed to be speaking on something like that.
Exactly. So that positional leader, he has to learn to develop influence. Why? Well, because the leadership is getting people to do for you when they're not obligated to do anything for you. Right. Charisma. Okay. You got to develop that. How to influence the people. Why? Because they love you. They respect you. You got to develop those characteristics. Give me Sirach 6. Sirach 6 and verse 32.
Sirach chapter 6, verse 32.
Wait, let me get it with you. I'm not as fast as you, Officer Leon. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sirach 6, verse 32. Ecclesiasticus. My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught.
That's how Jehosh was. If you will, you shall be taught. Go ahead.
And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent.
And if you will apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. Go ahead.
If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. Stand in the multitude of the elders, and cleave unto him that is wise.
You see that? Stand. See, when we go out of town, Malachi, Laba, even Ithania, all of you. No, you don't go nowhere, Abiel. You got your passport? Okay.
I got like 7 stamps now.
Oklahoma. You in Oklahoma. You just want to put Oklahoma.
We have gone places. We've gone places, and we'll have the young men around us. And the young men we're discussing scriptures. Don't you think that, like I'll give an example, even on the cruise. Remember we all sitting around talking about scriptures? You got the one young dude in the back. He ain't paying attention. He's just there looking around at everybody else. That dude's not serious about this truth. If you got the leadership, we're discussing scripture, we're discussing world dominion. That's where you want to be. Okay? Like when we was young, that was to be over there on the side in a circle talking.
They have to put us out.
Right. We'd be inching there. I'm like, yeah, bro. Yeah. We getting closer and closer. Right. So we can hear what's going on. We want to know. I mean, ask questions. Exactly. We want to ask questions.
Exactly. And
so we peep the spirits. Right. When y'all around us and y'all don't talk, nah, he ain't ready. No. Brothers talk about family. My wife is doing this. Kids is doing that. My job. And we discussing things. This dude is just sitting there looking around like he's clueless. What are you going to say?
And the elders would let us know if it was a matter that we weren't supposed to be. So I wanted to make that distinction too, because sometimes they might be talking about something that is above our pay grade.
Right.
They said, listen, we understand that you'll want to get the milk and the things, but at this particular moment we're dealing with it. And we be okay. We go, but do you know doggone well the next time we coming back?
There you go.
And they respected that thing. They respected that thing. They liked that thing.
What verse read, Officer Leon?
Verse 32.
Go ahead.
Verse 34. Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee.
Right. What does that mean? It means, hey, I got a question. Oh, they hate it. Hey, you remember that elders, they teach a class. All right, I would go, everybody in the and I'm looking around. And here go me. I didn't get it.
The bishop.
And everybody like so happy. Thank God,
exactly. They were glad that you did that.
Exactly. Because they didn't understand either. Everybody's scared to raise their damn hand. I said, I'm raising my hand because I don't get it. I want to know. So, and that's how we got down. That's how we did. And that's what that scripture's talking about. Let not the parables of understanding escape thee.
Hey, Bishop, what you're breaking down is very true, because we've even said in the past, there's a different spirit out here with these brothers. Even with some of these brothers, like you, how you speaking on how these brothers that left up out of here, their temperament was the same. They changed over the years. They used to be humble, but then when they started thinking that, man, I can be like him. I can do that. Right. I can lead a congregation. And you found out, nah, you didn't glean as much as you should have gleaned. You wasn't paying as much attention as you thought you was. Right. Then you leave up out of here, and everything all them skills you thought you had, everything comes to naught. Yep. Now you done led these people. Okay, you got 20 people to leave with you. Now where they at? I pay attention. I see people's names going back to their old worldly names. They went from being mighty captain such and such, and now your name is Jeremy, Joe, Bobby. But we were the bad guys. We were wrong.
Right.
You know, the Most High starts hitting the delete button on their mind. That's what starts happening. The people be thinking we be saying that, but they be exactly. And it's the real deal. Y'all see some of these cats that was rolling when they was in their quote unquote their right mind. They was sharp. Now they start talking crazy. You be like, you mean to tell me you was with this? The Most High hitting the delete button on it,
Right.
and that's really for real.
Hey, you know, Deacon Lob
Really for
always
real.
says this. When you read about the 70 elders, remember what the Lord said? He said, I'm going to put your spirit, Moses, on those 70 elders. When they started to go off, you think that spirit that was put on them stayed with them? No. They went off, that spirit, whoop, came right back with Moses. That's what happened. When we was at the spirit they had was on us. Now the spirit that the Lord put on us, the leadership is on them. You walk up out of here, you think the spirit, you might be sharp right now. Walk up out of here and see if that spirit stay with you. You're going to be a bumbling buffoon out there in the street. Looking for scriptures. All right, you ain't got to go out on the street and teach no more. Because the spirit left.
You know, I was listening to, on my way up here, we were listening to some of the old tapes coming up. I'm talking about in IUIC from the Paulding and so forth. And I'm hearing people that was in the congregation at that time, the same ones that's out there talking crazy now. And you listening to them and you're like, wow, they had some wisdom and really said, we were like, yeah, you know. And then you hear them now and they have done a complete 180 and they don't even see it.
Right.
And I'm looking, we were riding, we were coming up here and I was like, you know, we were listening and like, wow, this is, yeah, I said, yeah, that's him. The same one that's out there making all this noise now and you can't believe it.
Wow.
That's an example of the Most High hit that delete button. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Where we at? That steak is good. Where we at, Officer Leon?
Verse 30.
That cipher from Matrix. Steak is good. I don't remember nothing. What verse we at?
Verse 36.
Go ahead.
And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
I'm going to give you another example of how brothers don't apply that. We'll ask you, brother. Now, you know, if the shoe fits, wear it. We'll say, brother, who is your counselor? Here goes one brother. Sister so-and-so. Wait. We had to drop the mic. I'm like, wait, I didn't hear what I thought. Who's your counselor? Sister so-and-so. Read the verse again.
If thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
So when we see you young men telling us a woman is your counselor, you're out of God's spirit. No, the Holy Spirit ain't on you. You got the devil on you. So what the hell is this? Which one of our forefathers had women counseling them? What the hell is going on here? Yeah, Ahab, and that other dude that had his mama over him. Yeah. Read on.
Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart.
See that? He shall establish thine heart.
And give thee wisdom at thine own desire.
Now let me explain that verse right there, because it seems self-explanatory. Let thy mind be upon the ordinance of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. See, the average Negro will say, okay, the brothers in here, I do that. But there's a law that says, let me hip you to something. Honor your father and your mother. Now you read that and go, my daddy in the world, my mom in the world. See, you're not where you should be. Your thinking ain't right. Give me that in 1 Timothy. You know where I'm going, Leon.
Yes, sir.
Let me show you the depth of what that law is going into. Because some of you don't know. We know you grow up in broken homes. Read that.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren. The elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters with all purity.
Do you see that? That's the level of honor your father and your mother. So, and when it says, read it again, Officer Leon.
Yes, sir.
It brought some foolishness back to my mind again.
Rebuke not an elder,
Mm-hmm.
but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren.
And the younger men as brethren. Here you got a brother been in the truth 8 years saying, I'm your spiritual father. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, I'm back on that law. But it just bugs me. I'm shocked when I heard that. He's been in the truth 8 years and he's the father of the congregation. He's the father of Israel. Oh, come on. Wow. Read on.
the elder woman as mothers.
Elder, let me ask you, elder is not only elder in knowledge, but also in experience, longevity in this truth. Here you got, I'm going to give another example. I ain't going to name the state, but it happened in one of our IUIC camps. Sister came in for 6 months. Brother likes her, he marries her. Now, the brother that marries her, he's over the congregation. Positional leader, positional. He marries her. You have sisters who've been in the truth 10 years sitting there. He says to his 6-month wife, she is the senior sister now. And all the sisters over the, wait, what? She's been in the truth 6 months. We've been sitting here for 10 years. What are you talking about? You know, we had to call on and curse people out. And this is what young men do, because you're not thinking, your mind ain't groomed right. You don't know the difference, you don't know what longevity experience means. Okay? His wife never even had a baby. You got some of the sisters been 50 years old, had 4 or 5 kids. And the women said, what is she going to tell me about raising my children? She's never had children. She just came out her mama's behind yesterday. This is the foolishness we see with black people. That's why I always tell you this. White people say, don't put them niggas over nothing. They will destroy everything. And we're seeing it. Look, this is what the white man said. This is what he said. Look what he's doing. Look what she's doing. So, read that again, Officer Leon.
1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren. The elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters.
Let me give you another
purity.
Give me the one in one of the first 5 books. Moses said, rise up before the hoary head. Give me that. Where's that at? I haven't gone over that in years. Where is that one at? Somebody help me. One of you walking concordance brothers who know everything, find the scripture for me.
Nah, Bishop, they're scared now.
Now
they're scared now. You got them shook.
Leviticus what, 19? All right.
Leviticus 19:32.
Right.
Leviticus 19 and verse 32. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy God. I am the Lord.
So when a lot of times when the older men come in, and some are in the truth. Back then it was literally their age. But now, so that's a sign of respect which black people have not learned. You'll have the congregation stand. Why are we going to stand for that nigga? Who is he? He ain't did nothing. Oh no, he's only been laboring over 30 years. That's nothing, right? It's nothing. How long you been in the truth? 6 months. Shut the hell up over there.
You know what's amazing about that, Bishop? Even the nations know better than that.
Exactly. That's why when you talk about honor,
right?
I'm glad you said that. When you talk about honor, what do we always go to? We show Chinese movies. You can't show nothing black or Hispanic about honor. The word honor will not pop in your mind when you look at black or Latino people. You think degradation. You think humiliation. You think bums. You think evil. But we gotta look at the Chinese movie to explain what honor is. Look how they all get up before the elders there. Not black people. There in Brooklyn, New York, there's a young man. His father's walking there. He says, Dad, get in the house. It was a drug dealer. Smacked his father in the head and told him to go inside the house. The scriptures say somebody like that is to what? Die. You're seeing it's like, what the hell is wrong with black people? What is wrong with us? And when we try to instill some type of honor in your spirit, we become the bad guys. We're the enemies of all existence. We're a cult. Why? Because we're teaching honor, glory, respect, redemption to our people. Now we're a cult. We're no good nickers, no gooders. Wow. Give me 2 Kings. 2 Kings chapter 5. So a positional leader only does what's allowed, nothing more and nothing less. That's fine. Because you're new in the seat, you're the first one there, you're in that seat of authority, you have to do what you're told. That's fine. That's what Jehosh had to do as when he was 7, all the way up. He had to do as he was told. So there's nothing to frown on about that. But as you mature in this truth, you have to start developing your spirit to guide and command. Okay? And the people under a positional leader they're only following you because we tell them, listen to this brother. That's the man we put in charge there. But the mindset of a position leader that's a Negro will say, no, they're listening because I'm great. I'm gonna give an example of that in is it Alabama? Where was that, Deacon Malachi? Birmingham,
Alabama.
Birmingham. The two brothers says the congregation believes in us because we're great. So what did these two dudes do, which were positional leaders? They said, we're going to prove it. We're going to take possession of the IUIC school. They changed the locks on the school. Changed all the locks. Said, this is ours. The whole congregation left and went someplace else. And they're standing there like, but us. What about us? You're supposed to follow us. No, we're not following. We were only with you because the leadership said to follow you. Now, that is not the case. What? Yeah, the school is going up for rent again. That's what Negroes did. Positional leaders.
Yeah,
Opening, grand closing.
All in one day.
but you remember one state, brother, say there was with us to get people coming in that congregation. You remember? Then when they reach out to us, they say, oh, we're not going to put our UIC name on it because of the things you're going through. But brothers was using our name. You understand that there was with our UIC to have people come in.
Right.
You understand? They was doing that all day.
Exactly. So from now, I want to discuss the negative aspect of what a positional leader can also do. That's what I'm getting on now. I want to talk about the leader, an up-and-coming leader named Gehazi. Give me 2 Kings 5:20. Some of you leaders have found yourself with the spirit of Gehazi on you. And as we read this, you'll know if this is you or not.
2 Kings chapter 5 verse 20. But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha.
Now he was a servant. Remember, Elijah had a servant, which was Elisha. Now Elisha has a servant, which is Gehazi. Watch this. Let's see the difference.
But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, behold, my master has spared Naaman the Syrian, is not receiving at not receiving at his hands that which he brought. But as the Lord liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him.
Let me explain I'm going to explain the scenario here. Naaman the Syrian had leprosy. Unclean leprosy. You know, you got the two types. You got the kind where you're pure, all white, no melanin at all. Then you got the spotty kind of leprosy, which is the unclean kind. He wanted to be cleansed. So Elisha said, bathe yourself in the Jordan. And the Jordan was a small little river. And he was offended. He said, why don't I go into this big, mighty river? He says, and somebody said, just bathe in a small river there. So he followed, and he got cleansed. And he was going to give Elisha some gifts. And Elisha said, no, I don't want anything from you. And he went his way. Now Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, is saying to himself, I will run after him, after Naaman, and take somewhat of him. Read on, verse 21.
So Gehazi followed after Naaman, and when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him and said, is all well? And he said, all is well. My master hath sent me, saying, behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments.
So you see this? He's lying. He dropped names too. He dropped names. And he's that covetous spirit took over him. Go ahead.
And Naaman said, be content, take 2 talents. And he urged him and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of garments and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand.
So you got to notice this thing. So Gehazi wasn't by himself. He had 2 servants with him. He got them involved. And this is what we notice. A lot of times, listen to what I'm about to say. You get some young men over congregations. When you notice, when they want somebody raised up, a lot of times it's not because of their diligence or wisdom in scripture. It's because he's my boy. He's going to do what I say. He's not going to question me. I want them raised up. And we've seen that in
many of us.
Kakalaka, but not these brothers here. The old dude that was there. That's what they look for. Who's my boy? Who's going to do what I say? Read that again.
And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house. And he let the men go, and they departed. But he went in and stood before his master. And Elisha said unto him, whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, thy servant went no whither.
I didn't go nowhere. I ain't go nowhere. Go ahead.
And he said unto him, went not mine heart with thee
Didn't my spirit go with you? Go ahead.
When the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee, it is a time to receive money.
Is it? He's asking a question.
Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants?
Busted. Go ahead.
The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee.
Boom. Go ahead.
And unto thy seed forever.
Damn. Go ahead.
And he went out from his presence a leper as white as snow.
White as all his melanin, a clean leper, all his melanin gone.
Yeah.
Why? Because he had to covet your spirit. He wanted to get paid off the congregation.
Bishop, you notice what he says? Say, all this time you went over there, my spirit was with you. Yeah. I mean, you under me, so my spirit flowed with you. So every time he left, he thought he was by himself. Oh, my master. No, the spirit of the man that you learn is with you. He went there. He see the whole thing, what that dude has done. Then he talking about, I didn't go nowhere. Yeah, that sound like Austin Kent.
Damn. Give me 1 Kings 21, the old Austin, the old Austin. The next type of positional leader, and you got to examine yourself. As a positional leader, you know you're just there. You're an officer. You're either a soldier, officer 10, officer 20. Even you might be officer 50. Because you got those positions based on a test. I'm going to say it again. You got those positions based on a test. I said something right there. Went over a lot of your heads, but give me 1 Kings 21. We're going to talk about Ahab, another positional leader. Let's see which way this guy went. Let's read 1 through 7. 1 Kings 21, 1 through 7.
1 Kings chapter 21, 1 through 7. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, heard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria.
See, and I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you. See, that's the reason you got the test. You got the position. Why? Because a lot of times we don't know you. We don't really know you, your inner workings. Like when I met the deacons, they were around me every week. I met them and I said, bring your wives, bring your kids. I want to know you, all of you. I got to know their wives. I talk with their wives. I talk with their kids. I get to sit down, listen to their conversations to determine where they're at in their understanding. Because there was a bunch of y'all. So I said, well, this one here, let's make a deacon. Keep this one as a soldier because he's still something funny with his spirit here. That's what I did. But then we instituted the test because some of you are far away. We said, well, let's send them an exam out there, an assessment. And it's open book. When we came up, there was no open book. No open book. If you didn't know it, shame on you. You failed.
And it was timed.
Yeah, and it was timed. If you got one wrong, the whole thing was wrong. That's how rough it was back then. Y'all don't know how good and easy y'all got it. So where you at, Officer Leon?
Hey, Bishop.
Yes.
This is why I always talk about Paul letters. A lot of you brothers don't understand. Paul letters is like what Paul was doing is the same thing we're doing. When you see us visiting this camp, that's why Bishop get on these captains to get off the boat and travel. It's very important. That's what you're doing is you're doing what Paul was doing. Right. Paul never sit in one spot. Paul was doing different places to make sure all these congregations run with the same spirit, the same mind. Because there's always a Negro who's going to bring a different doctrine. Right. So your captains, when you go to the school, you have to know exactly what's going on. You got to ask questions. And you got to ask the right question. Right. There's a difference between asking questions. Because some people say, oh, you didn't ask that. Right. There's a difference. Remember what had just happened in Birmingham. OC has asked the right question. Come to find out the Negro got all that money. Right. We would have never know.
He was stealing, dude.
He was stealing. We would have never know. So your captains, that's what Bishop say. Your guys got to travel. We got to go to those camps, make sure everybody's following the guideline. That nobody's come with no new stuff. That's what we got to do.
Exactly. 1 Kings 21. Come on.
And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria.
It was adjacent to it. Go ahead.
And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, give me the vineyard.
Ahab was king, by the way. Go ahead.
Give me the vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said to Ahab, the Lord forbid it me, that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee.
He said, I can't give it to you. It was an inheritance for my father. It's unlawful for me to do that. Go ahead.
And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread.
This is an emotional dude. Very emotional. Some of you right now, you're very emotional. If you don't get your way, you crying, you don't want to eat. Go ahead.
An example of that, they run to Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. You run to Facebook.
They run to Facebook. It's the same damn spirit.
Exactly. Go ahead.
But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite and said unto him, give me my vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite.
See that I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. And we've seen that in some of the IUIC congregations. You positional leaders, you are insecure, but your wife is very aggressive. And she rules through you. Have we not been seeing that in some of the schools? We've been seeing that. Some of you have gossiping wives, and your men around you tell you your wife's a damn gossiper. What do? I'm going to fight for this Jezebel I got here. Oh, you're not a man of the Lord. If you know your wife, that's what the scripture talk about. You cannot hide the wind. You got to give me that scripture in. Wait, before we get there. See, that got me ranting. Jump down to verse 25. Then we're going to get 1 Timothy 3.
Verse 20, 1 Kings 21, verse 25. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up.
That's it right there. Your wife stirs you up. Okay. Give me that 1 Timothy 3 about if a man can't guide his house, that one. You hear the men around. This is why you got to have counselors. Okay. And as counselors, you can't be afraid to speak. Okay. We've had many meetings in the early days about wives. Am I right, Asaph? Talk the things our wives say and do.
That's right.
What's right and what's not right. Correct that. It ain't no, oh, he's talking about my wife. Oh, to hell with her.
Yep. Hey, Bishop, remember we had one leader. He couldn't get in the car with his wife. And he was like, look at this.
Right.
This big 300-pound man is standing outside of the car scared. Very embarrassing.
That's what happened. Read that. 1 Timothy, what verse we going to?
Chapter 3, verse 5.
Watch this.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house.
Your first point of leadership is your house. That's the first exam. That's why when I met the deacon, I said, I want to meet your wives. Because you all talk real good, but your wife going to reveal the inner workings of you. So as you hear the wife saying stupid stuff, breaking God's law, said, bruh, all that stuff you powerhousing on the street, you can't. Remember the dude from Connecticut? I said, you can't teach on the street. Your wife stabbed you. You was in jail because of her. You can't teach nobody. Who do you think you are? You ain't nobody. Hey, I'm a man of the Lord. I'm telling you what I see in the spirit. Your wife stabbed you because you smoke weed. You ain't right. And now both y'all in jail. You can't teach. I'm going to give you 6 months. I'm leaving. Okay, to hell with you then. Goodbye.
Where is
Hurry
he
up
now?
and go.
Where is he now?
Yes, where is he now? So now, here we go, visit schools. The brothers, the captains go out. Hey, how's this brother doing as a leader? What do you think about him? Oh, it's all right, but his wife gossips. His wife, nah, bro, don't be talking about my wife. My wife don't gossip, bro. Bruh, your wife's a gossiper. All the sisters know your wife's a gossiper. Huffing and puffing. That's that emotional Ahab spirit. Very emotional. Just correct it, brother. Just correct it. Every man know what he got at home. Every man know what he got at home. And your wife going to reveal you. That's why I like you to, hon, when we go, please don't say nothing. Don't, please, baby, please.
Yeah.
That's how some of you men are.
Yeah, man. Crazy glue will help you, brother. Just seal them out. Put some glue in it, seal it. Yeah, a lot of Bishop, you notice that. Then like a lot of brothers would say that they're not, right? Their wife not. Then think about it. If 2 or 3 men come to you, say your wife is.
Right.
So you have to be considered. Say, you know what? Maybe I don't see that, but your brothers thank you, man. I'm gonna check her.
There you go.
That's how you looking at us as brother, as leaders. But if you like a girlish, I'm saying like Willy Wimp, like you understand,
Wimpy.
You understand? You're gonna have problems with that thing, man.
And Bishop, we saw a lot of that this year.
Yes.
More than ever. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. You have brothers who wouldn't type the letter A on Facebook. All of a sudden, the page pop up and there's all this writing for them. You think we don't know it was your wife talking? You think we're stupid? Never had nothing to do with Facebook, nothing. Now all of a sudden there's beef. There's all these women. And we saw a lot of demons pop out of the woodworks. Okay? Because a lot of you, like the example we just had to see when Ahab came into the house and the wife said, who you are? I'm going to get it for you. You've seen a lot of wives do that this year. They were quiet as a church mouse and all of a sudden they were the most vocal. And we was like, we would have never known that him and her were so evil if the Lord didn't cause this thing to happen. And then we see their true colors. And that's how the Most High works.
Give another example. True story. This was up there in Boston, I believe it was. I forgot. Boston. Yeah, Boston. I think it was Deacon Laba, maybe Deacon Malachi went out there. And a particular sister, her husband didn't like his number 2 or number 3 guys. So the wife gives you a letter, remember, and a package, and says, you should make this other brother number 2 and this other brother number 3. Here's some liquor and here's $100. True story. True story. I lie not. I say the truth in Christ.
Lavaka drank the liquor, spent the $100 and said, hell no.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you. Nobody can hear you, Lava. Speak on the mic. You're talking in your glass. What the hell?
I want to win that caps though. That's the best drink, Bishop.
It was that good that made you forget what you're drinking out of.
That drink she gave me, that was one of the best drink because I had time to drink that drink while I'm judge her simple behind. I'm like, Sister, listen.
Exactly. Give me 3 John chapter 1. Diotrephes is another positional leader that the disciples set up. This guy went exit stage left for real. Okay. 3 John verse 9.
The 3rd epistle of John, verse 9. I wrote unto the church, but Diotrephes, who loveth to have the preeminence.
You see that? Who loves to have the preeminence. That's what we talked about at the beginning of the lesson. Certain leaders, positional leaders, will make sure that number 2, number 3, number 4 are clueless about the operations of the congregation. That brother loves to have the preeminence. I'm going to make sure nobody know what I know. You always got to call me. No, that's terrible leader. Terrible. What I know, all the deacons got to know. I say, hey, go out there and handle it. I can't be everywhere. You handle it. We send the captains. Okay, deacon say, I can't be there. Captain such a, go out there and handle it. Why? Because we're preparing them. They're being well tutored. Okay? But not this dude that loves the preeminence. He makes sure the men under him are clueless. Ask him a question. I don't know. I gotta ask brother so-and-so. Hey, officer so-and-so, can you answer this? Because I don't know what's going on in the congregation.
I prove what you say is true. One brother get in a position. He told another brother, the reason he removed that brother, he told the brother that your phone cannot hold so much information. The brother said, my phone cannot. What they got to do with that position? To show you, man, weak leaders, your brothers, man, stay in the spirit, man. Stay in the spirit.
Right. It's another sign of insecurity. And we see it. We check out your number 2 man, your number 3 man. When we see that they're mentally and spiritually weak and cannot run the congregation, that means you as the positional leader, you're doing a terrible job. And you're doing that because you yourself are insecure. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Okay.
Bishop, I want to be clear with this congregation, man. Your guys, especially your guys that under brothers, you have to open your mouth, man. You cannot be like a coolest, bro. A lot of y'all, we hit that camp, Bishop. We found out after we left. That's why we looking at the complaint from like, yo, this brother, we was there a week ago. We was there 2 weeks ago. You have to step your game up being a man. You cannot, yo, listen, why we in a, that's a brother reached out me to, Instagram. The reason he reached out to me to Instagram, because he want to do his own thing. He talking about, that's in the office over there. He talking about that officer was not right. That this. I said, brother, listen, if Captain Joshua sent an officer over there to help you out, so take the advice of the officer. He said, oh, Deacon, we was there by ourselves. We was doing all right. That already went bad. I said, but Bishop was in your state. Bishop was in that state. And then the deacon was in your state. Why you never show up? Right. Because to showing you is biased, man. These brothers that want to do their own thing, they don't want to involve us. You know what I'm saying? It's automatic now, brother take away his privilege to put that thing on Instagram. Now he call me. But if that brother did not take the privilege there, he would have still in his folly. You understand? Think that he's a good leader. But the people there, the reason that people join with you, because they see the our works. It's our works who bring people at your congregation. It's not how sweet you talk, how intelligent you are. The hell, you're only 5 years old. The hell you talking about?
Exactly. Read that again, Officer Leon.
3 John 9. I wrote unto the church, but Diotrephes, who loveth to have the preeminence among them, receiveth us not.
This dude would not receive the apostles of Christ. He put himself above the men that walked with Christ, talked with Christ. This Negro put himself above them. And they set Diotrephes up. But that shows you how to position a leader. He'll talk good until he gets what he wants. Then he can flip. And that's what this dude did right here. Go ahead.
Wherefore, if I come, I will remember his deeds which he doeth, prating against us with malicious words.
Right, like now he's on Facebook, running his mouth. I'm the man. Spirit of God is dealing with me. Prating with malicious words. Go ahead.
And not content therewith, neither doth he himself receive the brethren.
Anybody that came to visit, he wouldn't let them in the church. He said, no, you can't come in here. Our doors is closed to you. The apostle sent you, you're not welcome here. Go ahead.
And forbiddeth them that would, and casteth them out of the church.
Anybody that wanted to visit the apostle, he said, okay, if you go there, you can't come back here. You got to go. That's how this positional leader, Diotrephes, got down. And we examine this among the young men in the IUIC camps. We see the spirit, okay? The next kind, give me Sirach 10:21 before I go on. That intimidation spirit. So Diotrephes ruled with intimidation. Okay? Sirach 10:21. So a positional leadership role will reveal the real you. It will reveal you in time. We don't see it in the beginning, but in time, the real you will come out. You'll either be like a Jehoash, follow orders, follow what tutors tell you, or you'll become a Gehazi, it's going to be evident, or you'll be an Ahab, it's going to become evident, or you're going to be like a Diotrephes. Read that, Sirach 10:21.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 21. The fear of the Lord goeth before the obtaining of authority.
Right, go ahead.
But roughness and pride is the losing thereof.
Roughness and see, Diotrephes knew he was going to be taken down. That's why he didn't let nobody in the congregation that came from John and the other apostles. He said, no, they're going to try to take my position. Okay, and that's exactly what was going to happen. Roughness and pride will cause you to lose that positional seat you got right there.
You know, it's heavy about this, Bishop, because when we had issues where people were leaving and people of rank were leaving, the enemy was saying, you see, your camp is falling apart. You have so-and-so left. He was great. He was this. He was mighty. Nobody remembers so-and-so now. And what the bishop is bringing, I'll show you that these dumb Negroes don't read the Bible. You have great men. The same trials that we're going through as a body now, it's written in the Bible. This is what the bishop is reading. Where you set men up that was running schools, and they got in their feelings, and they started to become evil, and they wanted to take over and control everything. So what made you think that's not going to happen to us now? Now, you'll see other camps where that's not happening. Do you know why that's not happening there? Do you know why that's not happening? Nobody's trying to take over a camp, or you don't hear nothing about nobody leaving or nothing, because ain't nothing going on over there. Let's keep it real. Okay? They magnify if an issue like that. You'll see 15 videos go up if a person who was over a camp leave. Why? Why is it such an issue and you were oblivious to us before? It's obvious that they're paying more attention to us than they're admitting.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly. Get 2 Samuel 15. So again, we're talking about positional leaders. Okay? Now, the next kind we're going to examine right now is the Absalom type of leadership. That subtle, crafty one who waits. 2 Samuel 15, let's start at verse 1. We're going to read 1 through 6, Officer Leon.
Yes, sir. 2 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 1. And it came to pass after this that Absalom prepared him chariots and horses and 50 men to run before him.
Now, Absalom is one of the sons of King David. Watch what this dude did. Go ahead.
And Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment,
Came to King David for judgment.
then Absalom called unto him and said, Of what city art thou? And he said, Thy servant is of one of the tribes of Israel. And Absalom said unto him, See, thy matters are good and right, but there is no man deputed of the king to hear thee. Absalom said, Moreover, Oh, that I were made judge in the land, that every man which hath any suit or cause might come unto me, and I would do him justice.
I love the 12 tribes of Israel. Y'all remember that? The dude yelled that thing out. So this guy was trying. Now remember, Absalom as King David, what was his title? Prince. That wasn't good enough for him. To be prince, he had 50 men that would walk before him. He had 50 men of security. No, that's not good enough for me. I want my father's seat. Watch what this dude does. Go ahead.
And it was so, verse 5, and it was so that when any man came nigh to him to do him obeisance, he put forth his hand and took him and kissed him.
Flattery. He hug him, kiss him. Go ahead.
And on this manner did Absalom to all Israel that came to the king for judgment.
They came to the king, but Absalom was on the side being sneaky and crafty, manipulative. Go ahead.
So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel.
You see that? He stole. See that word? He stole the hearts of the men of Israel. Now, this is not of God. This is why when people walk up out of it and take people with them, that's not the spirit of God. You stole their heart. That's all you did. In other words, you deceived their mind. That's going to crumble. That's going to fall apart. Go ahead.
And it came to pass after 40 years.
40 years this dude waited.
That Absalom said unto the king, I pray thee, let me go and pay my vow, which I have vowed unto the Lord in Hebron. But thy servant vowed a vow while I abode at Geshur in Syria, saying, If the Lord shall
stop right there.
Yes,
From there, go to Acts 20. Give me
Hey,
verse
hey,
30.
Bishop.
Yes.
So Absalom cooked these men mine for 40 years.
Yes.
Then
40
we had a captain in Austin that cooked the mine for one night. He cooked their head up.
Actually, he was working on for more than one night.
Right.
Oh,
I think he was working that thing for
he
years.
microwaved their brain.
Microwave them brains.
And he's not the only one. Believe me, what was done, we're going to see more examples of that. Just sit back and watch. Acts 20 and 30.
Acts chapter 20 and verse 30. Also of your own selves shall men arise.
See that? That Treefy was a perfect example. Absalom was a perfect example. Go ahead.
Speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after them.
See that? And when it says speaking perverse things, the perverse things they're not saying, hey, let's have an orgy. They're not that type of perversion. Perversion means manipulating the scriptures to go against leadership. Read it again.
Also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after them.
See, what they were saying was to draw away disciples after them. They were manipulating the men and women their disciples entrusted to them. Go ahead.
Therefore watch and remember that by the space of 3 years I cease not to warn everyone night and day with
So just
tears.
like Paul warned night and day, we're warning night and day. What we saw didn't really shock me. I'm waiting for it to happen again. And in my mind, the Spirit already showed me certain men. Watch this one, watch that one, watch this one right here. I ain't going to tell you, but I know. Go ahead.
And now, brethren, I commend you to God and to the word and his grace, which is able to build you up.
Stop from there.
What is nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.